Hello guys, Foxy here. This will be part 5 of What If Izuku Was a Wolf Dog in The Walking Dead. Now I'm planning on playing some background sound in, the background. Because, maybe this will help you go to sleep or something. I honestly have no idea. But I want to try out something new. I remember, a few years ago. Well, it has been years. Oh my god, it has been years. Either way. Aside from my revelation of doing this for maybe 2 years, 3 years, I have no idea. Oh my god, 3 years. Okay, away from my shock. Oh my god. Someone commented that they wanted something in the background, like a music type of thing, but I did not know how to do it. I really didn't, because guys, one, I am terrible with technology. I'm absolutely atrocious with it. So, I wanted to do it on my free time, try to work it out, but you guys know me. It never actually happened. But I am trying this out, and now the background sound won't be actual music, like people singing and all that stuff. For me, I find that very distracting. So, instead I'm playing I will just read it to you. Typewriter ASMR typing vintage ambiance. Old typewriter rain thunder. Alright? So I really hope this doesn't put you to sleep. If it does, I am very sorry. But we are just going to get right into this. I hope you guys like it. And also you might be hearing me be writing in the background because I am working on word search for one of my classes. Yes, it's pretty fun. Sometimes, I don't know. It's English. I want to die. Oh, my head. Yeah, being a high school student is fun, and I don't want to do it. But yeah, we are going to just... Okay, it has started. It's in the background now. I am going to quickly click off and click on just to see if it's just a bit too loud. Actually, I think my voice just covered it. So I'm going to speak a little bit more quietly. Hopefully then that would, match. I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, actually quieting my voice will actually work, so click. Now we have the stage set. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this is part 5 of what if Izuku was a wolf dog in The Walking Dead. Now, I have not posted any of these videos yet because I just want to get a whole bunch of them made and sent out so then I have enough time to actually do more work or finally get on to if Naruto was the last man on Earth. I know you guys have been asking for it, and I am working on the last few details of it. I've just been trying to think of how this story would be set up. Because I did it, a year ago, I believe, and I did it okay, but I have terrible memory with names and faces. Well, I can remember faces fine, but remembering names to them is one of my weak points. So I have been trying to make a plan for that. Make like pictures and names. I don't know. It's gonna be a process. I'm also planning on restarting or redoing What If Naruto Was in My Little Pony. I have been trying to rewatch some episodes of that because I do want to do it from the very beginning. Because for me, I don't know about you guys, but I love when the story starts from the when a story starts from the beginning, because then you get the basic groundworks. Because for me, my brain does not love like holes in the story that will be later on filled up. Because for me, I forget a lot of things. So you wanting to make me recall a memory from the past is a no-go. But I can understand where that is a great amusement for anyone else. But for me, no, I don't like. So for my stories, I usually start off in the very beginning, or at least do like a little preview of the beginning, so yeah, you guys get like a basic understanding. But I have been talking way too long. We are just gonna get right into the story, y'all. Yeah, let's get this boat on the road. Our POV. Glenn has been thinking hard. Like really, really, really hard. It has been a very difficult few days. Even the other campers are starting to notice his ordeal. A few days ago, in the city of the dead, Atlanta, one of the biggest cities in America, he met a huge, huge green dog with white and red patterns on him. His back paws were red, like blood, and his front paws were nice and white. And the dog was huge. It was absolutely enormous. It was the size of a small car. And Glenn's pretty sure his entire body would fit in the dog's mouth. And no, he will not be testing that out anytime soon. But that was one thing, alright? The dog picked him up and jumped onto rooftops, and Glenn fed the dog some water and all that fun stuff. But then the dog shrank. You heard him. It shrank. It became smaller and became the ordinary. Glenn couldn't even think right. He couldn't. It was just, the dog went small like a regular dog. And the dog laid on him. Glenn was so scared he nearly pooped his own pants. He wanted to run, scream, do anything, but he couldn't. He was shocked. Absolutely, utterly shocked. What was he meant to do? He was not Captain Iron Man or something. And he couldn't even breathe. And his nightmares were something. Being eaten by the Walking Dead as a dog pissed on him was one of them. But you will not hear that from his mouth. Never from his mouth. Glenn has been having a hard time, and he has never went back in the city after that day. But that dog was useful. And he also learned the dog's name, Izuku Midoriya. And that is a very human name for a dog. Glenn expected someone to name him Green or something. Glenn is not too sure. He was never given a pet, nor did he take up any. He knows that he is very irresponsible for any living being other than himself, and he even fails to do that with himself. So looking after another was a very new thing in his situations. And now most pets or animals will be used as food. So yeah, no pets. Glenn sat up as he looked at the sunrise, or sunset, or whatever time of day it was. Glenn really didn't know. All he wanted to do was sleep for eternity. There was no use waking up. There was no use in doing anything anymore. He has one massive dog in the city and a bunch of hungry campers that is only being fed by Daryl and maybe sometimes Merle. Glenn really didn't like Merle. He was really, too much. He was too much. And Glenn just didn't like the dude. He doesn't want to be rude or anything, but the dude did smell like pot. Or whatever he took made him smell and look terrible. But yeah, that's not the problem. Glenn sighed again. He has been sighing way too much. He's pretty sure everyone has noticed his, disheveled state. He really, truly didn't mean for anyone to worry. He's just thinking. And, like he said, he didn't mean to worry anyone. But it was no use. Come on, you have to get up now, Dale said from the top of the RV he had. Glenn liked the dude, he really did. But if you were in his state, you would understand. But no one understood what he went through the other day, nor will they ever understood or believe him until he showed them the proof. which he probably will never do. So, 3 hours later, he found himself in the city again. But this time with a dog whistle. Yeah, it's pretty stupid or smart. Glenn really didn't know. But he needed help. And a dog, especially the one of a size of a small car, would be very useful and quick to gain in and out of situations. So, with steely determination, he blew the whistle as hard as he could. And he didn't hear anything from it, but he could hear the loud howl from miles away. Glenn truly regretted his decision, so without thinking about it, he dropped the dog whistle and turned around, planning on running away and never returning. Maybe he'll hide out in a little hobbit hole and forget anything. Maybe he'll even become Gollum. No, he doesn't want to become Gollum. Gollum does not look good. And Glenn is pretty sure he would not look good bald, or with a few pieces of hair, or big fishy eyes. Ugh, no. Glenn is definitely not going to become Gollum. Maybe a nice hobbit or something. He just wants to hide. He just wants to run. But he didn't even make it 2 steps before the dog picked him up in his jaws. This time around the bye. And the dog was glaring. And, well, the dog started shaking him like a chew toy. Glenn wanted to scream so badly, but there were no walkers in sight, and Glenn is pretty sure he doesn't want to rain the entire city down upon him. So he took it like a champ and just held in his screams. After a few minutes, the dog seemed done shaking around the poor boy. Then he was dropped unceremoniously to the ground, with a big oof and a lack of air in his lungs. Glenn was struggling around like a deflated balloon. Izuku could have laughed. He really could have. But his ears were ringing something awful. It was a smart and terrible idea for calling him. Now his ears felt like they were bleeding. But he was not going to check. He was not going to check. He does not need to check. Izuku sat on his haunches as he shrank himself. Now he was the size of a normal dog and reached around Glenn's waist, or maybe above that even. Izuku jumped on his hind legs and licked Glenn's face to hopefully let Glenn know that he was, fine with it. And Glenn seemed relieved, and his face was a bit red from, the lack of air. Maybe it would be purple instead. Izuku doesn't know. But Izuku was tired. Really, really tired. Okay, so I don't know if you're sentient or not. If you are, I'm sorry. But even if you aren't, sorry, again, I really needed you. Either way, I don't know how to say this, but I'm just gonna say it out, I am sorry, I have never spoken to a dog before, nor did I ever plan to. No offense, I'm not good with animals, nor am I good with myself. So, yeah. Back on to point. I was wondering if you could help me. I have a bunch of survivors at the camp, and they need food, and you can tell I'm not good with actually taking care of myself, or I can get in and out of cities or places fairly easy, but I'm not physically strong. So I was wondering if you could help me take down walkers, or at least guard the place, so I don't die. If you do it, I will give you food, supplies, or try helping you out. Heck, you can even come back to the camp with me and help defend everyone. But then again, that won't be such a good idea because they might just eat you. But, yeah. Why am I talking to you? This is so stupid. Izuku roofed and nuzzled Glenn's stomach. Okay, is that a yes? I think I will take that as a yes. Izuku nodded. Wait, are you sentient? Izuku rolled his eyes and nodded. Okay, good. Your name is Izuku Midoriya. Izuku wanted to growl. But that was his name, and he didn't want to be called deku. He really didn't. Izuku nodded, and Glenn started just talking and talking and talking. It reminded Izuku of Denki. Denki, what does his face look like? Denki, blonde hair, black stripe, or lightning bolt through his hair. And did he have freckles? No. Was he pink? No. Was he moody? No. He was cheerful. He was extremely cheerful, but a little bit dumb. He had he didn't have an acid quirk. He didn't have explosions. He didn't have tape. Blah, blah. He was electricity quirk. And yeah. Cool costume was punky. Zuko wanted to growl, sigh, and just scream in pure annoyance. He couldn't remember his friend. It felt like something was blocking it. Everything was foggy. But Zuko shook his head. Pressure was starting to fill it. So for a distraction, he helped Glenn. All day he helped him. And got food for him. And Glenn seemed so happy. Izuku even helped clear out a little minivan and packed all the supplies in there. Izuku even grabbed some of the safety bags and threw them in there with him. And Glenn seemed so happy, and that filled Izuku with so much warmth. He was helping, he was being a hero again. So, like the hero fanatic he was, he helped. Again and again. Every time Glenn came to the city, he helped. Even when he wasn't in the city, he made sure to pack up van after van of supplies, and waited patiently for him to come back. Glenn didn't even have to stay in the city for more than an hour, but Izuku was determined for Glenn to be strong, because Izuku was only one person, one dog, and there was a whole entire world of zombies out there, and Glenn needed to be strong. And one less monster, one less zombie walker to kill, the better. So, when Glenn came to the city and had van after van packed with supplies, Izuku would carefully train Glenn and was always on the sidelines, making sure Glenn wouldn't actually be hurt. His back was always tense and prickled. His teeth always pulled back in a vicious snarl, waiting patiently to lunge. If the zombie came too close, if the bite was too close to the skin, he waited. But Glenn always survived, with or without his help. Soon, Glenn became used to the smell of the zombies, used to the sticky, cold feeling of blood in between his fingers. He became used to his silent footsteps. Izuku even helped him run across rooftops, and what a terrible yet careful, gleeful feeling that he felt. It reminded him memories of his father. No, not father. Dadzawa. What hair color was he? What eyes did he have? What did he look like? And that just brought in another feeling to him. He was angry. His memories were fading. His past life was slipping through his fingertips, and Izuku hated it. In the past, he was able to remember them so clearly, like a picture frame in his own mind, but now everything was fogging up. But Izuku, he knew one solid thing. He was the number one hero for a very long time. And that feeling was engraved into his bones, engraved into his a thread of life, and that life would not be cut by life, by by the scissors of the witches. He would live, and being a hero was carved within that own fiber. So, as a hero, he saved. He killed the monsters and waited patiently. Then one day, it was strange. Izuku always hid when there was a group of people coming with Glenn. It used to just be one other person, sometimes two, then just himself, usually. But this time, there was an entire group of them. Glenn was not alone. He was surrounded by people, and Glenn did not like it. It sent his nerves to high hells. His footsteps were quiet, but everyone else's was like lingering thunks. It was like horses galloping throughout the street. It sent Glenn's nerves haywire. He hated it, and what he hated most was that he was not able to train. And Glenn remembered those times perfectly. It was roughly like 2 weeks ago when he found the dog, and the dog started training him, funny enough. At first, Glenn really didn't take it too seriously. What can a dog teach him? But Glenn was soon proven very, very wrong. The dog was a complete monster when it came to it. And Glenn didn't know if he should hate the poor creature or become the faithful servant of the dog. Izuku was a very interesting creature, and Glenn admired him and hated him. It started off with Glenn facing off against one zombie at a time, and Izuku was always in the background waiting patiently to see if the zombie would go offline. But that really never happened. Only like a few times where there was 2 or 3 zombies that he had to face off at once. But that rarely ever happened. So, today was starting off awful. He couldn't train, he couldn't start running. Oh, Glenn remembered that time. It was an ordinary day. He was planning on facing off against another zombie. But instead of that, Izuku decided to bark. Like, bark, bark, bark. Again and again, and soon there was a horde of zombies chasing him, and Glenn was booking it. Running and running, his footsteps clattering against the pavement. Thunk, 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 step, 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 crash, crackle. Glenn just bumped into a garbage can, and that just brought more to him. And Glenn wanted to scream. He nearly felt it in the back of his throat. It was itching and clawing. It was like a worm or a spider or a frog trying to crawl up and escape. But he bit his tongue or cheek or wherever he could to keep himself quiet. And the damn dog was, basically walking beside him. No, the dog wasn't actually walking. It was running right beside him. More like a leisure jog. The dog didn't even have the decency of panting, or at least fake panting. No, the dog was just having his tongue stick out, all willy-nilly being funny-like. And Glenn didn't know if he should hate the poor thing, or laugh alongside him, or stick out his tongue. Maybe the dog has something with sticking out the tongue. Maybe it'll cool himself down faster. At the end of the day, Glenn was safe, unbitten, and completely drenched in sweat. And that happened every day. Every day he ran, killed zombies, and helped, package food. Now, he didn't actually package food. He more or less just gathered food or supplies, packed them in a bag, and throw them wherever he wanted. This helped him get supplies faster and also not hoard supplies so much. The last thing he needed, nor did the group need, was a lazy sack of potatoes who would be too fat to run. Instead, he had to work for the supplies. And Izuku was a monster when it came to work for it. And Glenn really did work for a lot of the supplies. Izuku was either guarding them or a pack of zombies were, and that was never fun to clean up. Ever. But, yeah, it was something. So today was completely and utterly awful when the group came with him. Glenn didn't hate anyone, except Merle, but there was one thing. But now he is not going to have his friend to help him. But they were eyeing that suspicious store. It had a bunch of clothing in it. Maybe the kids will like it. And there were a bunch of jewelry. Maybe they can be turned into necklaces, like a fancy-ass weapon, a necklace or something. Glenn was not too sure on what. But the store looked nice, and they must have some sort of supplies. And the store is fairly huge. Then the sound of falling garbage cans, and the shout from Myrtle. "Hey, Chinaman, what are we going to be doing today?" Glenn wanted to yell, to scream, to do something, but instead he booked it down the street and ran into the store. And guys, this will be the ending of part 5 of What If Izuku Was a Wolf Dog in The Walking Dead. Now, I really hope you guys like this video. You like it, not like, don't. I hope you guys like this particular. Okay, I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. I hope you guys. I keep saying the same word. I don't want you guys pressing the button if you don't want to. All I'm trying to say is that you like it, like you like cupcakes or something. Like you like the feeling. I'm trying to say something and not make it sound stupid, but I am making it sound stupid. Have you guys ever done that before? Where you're trying to explain something, but the only thing you have to use or say is the same 3 words? Because I'm having that same feeling right now. And I'm getting angry. Not angry, I'm frustrated. But I am too tired for this. And what time is it? It is 10. Oh, it's almost 11 o'clock. Fuck me. Yeah, love you guys. I am hopefully going to post in the future. Wait, that sounded like I will never post. I hope I post soon in the future. Sorry for my English. I am terrible at it. Ugh. Love you guys, and hope you have a good night or day. Toodaloo, and adios.